Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving straight into the eternal radiance of paradise. We're going to logically trace the fascinating journey of a righteous soul from the exact moment of death all the way to eternal tranquility. It's a journey that really challenges everything we think we know about the end of life. So let's kick things off with a pretty profound concept. Think about this opening quote for a second. When a person leaves this world, their real life begins, a life that will never end. Right away, that flips the script. Instead of viewing physical death as some terrifying conclusion or an absolute void, this transforms it into a mere doorway. It suggests that what we're experiencing right now is just a prelude, and crossing over is the true beginning of an eternal existence. It's a complete and utterly fascinating paradigm shift. Now, before we actually follow the soul on this journey, we've got to define where exactly we're going. Paradise, or Jannah. The source material describes it as a realm which no eye has completely seen, no ear has completely heard, and no heart has completely felt. We're talking about an experience so elevated, it literally exists entirely outside the bounds of our physical senses. It's a level of existence so profound that our current minds just lack the biological hardware to fully comprehend it yet. Okay, so this journey starts the absolute second a person passes. And it isn't some chaotic, confusing experience. It's highly structured and just incredibly respectful. First, angels actually step in to carefully escort the soul upwards. As it passes through each level of the heavens, its identity is verified and it's addressed by the most beautiful, honorable names. Finally, the Creator issues a direct command to prepare a heavenly bed for this servant. It's a systematic process that instantly wraps the soul in this supreme sense of safety. And this next part is truly fascinating. It completely reimagines the grave itself. We universally picture it as this dark, confined, final resting place, right? But for the righteous soul, it completely transforms. A literal window to paradise opens up, flooding the once dark space with heavenly fragrance and expanding the area as far as the eye can see. It goes from a dark finality to this bright, expansive waiting room. But this peaceful wait doesn't last forever. It's eventually interrupted by the cosmic sequence of Judgment Day. And it is terrifying. It kicks off with Phase 1, the blast of Israfil's trumpet. That triggers absolute cataclysm across the universe. The earth violently trembles, mountains literally take flight through the air, oceans ignite into roaring fire, and finally all graves open up. It is a scene of unimaginable cosmic upheaval. Now, notice the stark contrast here. On one hand, the physical universe is literally tearing itself apart, trembling earth, fiery oceans, the whole shebang. But on the other hand, the righteous souls are experiencing the exact opposite state. They emerge with glowing faces and hearts completely free of fear. They're immediately met by angels offering absolute reassurance, letting them know that today they have absolutely nothing to worry about. Following that monumental cosmic event, the journey finally reaches the ultimate threshold. The text describes magnificent, unimaginably beautiful doors of paradise. Doors so grand they completely bypass human imagination. Guarding angels stand ready there, but they aren't there to interrogate anyone. They're there to welcome. They offer this definitive, beautiful declaration: peace be upon you, enter it forever. This is the exact moment the waiting ends. And the very second the soul steps through those magnificent doors, bam! It's an overwhelming sensory explosion. They're greeted by an unseen, radiant light unlike anything on earth. Cooling breezes bring instant, profound peace to the heart. Incredible fragrances completely delight the soul, and get this, even the ground itself is made of beautifully fragrant saffron. Every single human sense is instantly elevated and completely comforted. From there, the text vividly maps out a landscape constructed entirely from precious gems. We're talking about majestic palaces made of solid gold, silver, pearls, and glowing red rubies. And weaving right through these incredible structures are limitless, sustaining rivers. But we're not just talking about pure water here. The text specifically calls out rivers of milk, rivers of honey, and rivers of a pure drink that never causes any harm or intoxication. It's an environment built on absolute, unending abundance. And nature here, it's completely subservient to human will. It makes even your slightest desire an immediate physical reality. The source describes these massive, lush green gardens where the tree branches literally bow down to gently offer their fruit. In fact, simply thinking of a specific fruit brings it directly into your hand. There's no labor, no reaching, no effort required whatsoever. The environment completely anticipates and perfectly yields to your every passing thought. Now, what's really interesting is how paradise is defined just as much by what's missing as by what's actually there. It's all about the complete elimination of human vulnerability. Just look at what gets erased. There's no illness, no weakness, no fatigue or hunger. There's zero aging. Every single person remains forever young. All that emotional suffering we deal with, sorrow, crying, loneliness, betrayal, hatred, it's entirely wiped out. And above all, there is no death. The vulnerabilities that weigh us down so heavily on earth, they are completely gone. With all those worldly weaknesses out of the picture, individuals now exist in this state of flawless beauty and indestructible vitality. The inhabitants are dressed in luxurious garments of pure silk. They adorn themselves with golden bracelets and majestic crowns, and they have glowing faces that radiate eternal strength. Earthly fragility is completely swapped out for an unending, powerful, and majestic physical existence. But hey, it goes way beyond just physical wealth and health. The emotional and psychological state is perfectly calibrated too. It replaces all earthly friction with unconditional love and instant fulfillment. The text is very clear on this. Hearts are completely clean, totally filled with mutual love for one another. Jealousy, spite, misunderstandings, they simply do not exist here. Every single wish is granted instantly, creating a state of absolute, unbroken comfort and psychological peace. It's the ultimate relief from the emotional baggage we drag around every day. Then, after cataloging all these immense physical and emotional rewards, the palaces, the rivers, the eternal youth, the total absence of pain, the narrative actually pauses. It stops for this incredibly powerful climax centered around a single profound question. The Creator addresses the inhabitants of paradise and simply asks them, "Are you happy?" It's this breathtaking moment of direct, intimate connection, pausing just to acknowledge the sheer magnitude of the gifts they've been given. And the inhabitants respond with complete and total fulfillment. They genuinely believe they have received every possible blessing in existence. They reply, "Oh Allah, what else could we want? You have given us everything." In their minds, the physical and emotional perfection they're experiencing right then is the absolute pinnacle of existence. They're entirely satisfied. They can't even conceptualize a greater joy. But here is the ultimate spiritual reward. It proves that the highest peak of this journey isn't the rivers of honey or the palaces of gold. Just when they thought they had absolutely everything, the final blessing is revealed. The veil is removed, and the inhabitants are permitted to see their Creator. The text emphatically points out that in this profound spiritual moment, all those other immense physical blessings of paradise, they suddenly seem incredibly small in comparison. It is without a doubt the crowning moment of the soul's journey. As we wrap up this explainer, we're left to deeply reflect on the weight of our earthly actions, especially when measured against the prospect of absolute, uninterrupted, eternal peace. The source text leaves us with this final echoing summary of the true afterlife, a life with no death, no pain, no fear, just eternal peace. So it really makes you wonder, if a realm of such limitless physical and spiritual perfection is indeed the ultimate destination, how should that shape the way we navigate the inevitable struggles and choices of our finite lives today?